Yeah, gotta go back.
I saw your email before the end of the day. Give me a call.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Is there a schedule?
Yeah.
There is, but weekend schedule starting, September 11th.
No, I'm not.
All
Because
conference.
like I say, we can't just do everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Solicitor.
How did it sound? How did it sound?
Peachy is good? Yep. Peach ice cream, 40 years, delicious.
Any other?
He gave me a heads up.
No.
You either love them or you don't.
Yeah,
They don't
for
serve
sure.
good ice cream.
My mom loves vanilla ice cream.
Take her up to eat it.
They have a peach flavor.
Actually, has chunks of peaches in it. Little peaches.
Oh, she would love that.
Well, I think the creamery has, peachy paterno or something.
Yeah.
There's some
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
iconic name.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I got a half gallon there tonight.
Did you can get it there by gallons? I thought you could only get cones there.
Nope. Nope.
Huh?
Yep.
I don't remember that.
Yep. Just go to the side window and I'll take your
Oh,
order
you
and
don't
walk.
even have to go in anymore.
You can't.
Oh, because.
Yeah, side and walk around their side and have their side.
Hi.
I have blueberry. They have blueberry up there too. Like chunks of blueberry.
Now that I would like.
Really good.
Maybe I should go for it.
They
Yeah,
got great
for
blueberry.
sure.
Really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like this flavored, you know, I want the real stuff. I want the chunks of
Right,
blueberries, and chunks of
exactly.
peaches. Of what? Ice cream.
We're talking about eaters things.
Here's ice cream. They don't do flavors. They do like the actual fruit that's actually in ice cream.
Chunks of fruit.
Scott wants chunks of whatever.
Yeah.
That's right. I want the real stuff.
Hey, I'll take the
Real
flavored
peanut
stuff
butter.
as long as it tastes good.
Sure got good ice cream.
I have Jason on the line.
Okay.
It's a big agenda.
Yeah. Started out with a small one.
Yeah, this one started out, I think, 8, and here we are.
It's good. Point
I think that's good.
5.0.
Jeez.
Jerry, we live?
We are now.
Oh.
Yep.
Good morning. We ask you at this time to rise for the opening prayer and pledge allegiance. Dear gracious God, we thank you for a new day and a new month. We ask that it will be one full of your grace and blessings. As the seasons begin to change and we marvel at the autumn beauty, let us be reminded our lives are like the seasons. They pass quickly and are a blink of an eye. Let us focus on what is your will, Lord, and please you. Let us be good stewards, be kind, compassionate, and understanding. We pray for our elderly, our youth, our businesses, and all the medical and professional heroes through these difficult times. We pray this virus will evaporate and cease its destructive tentacles in all of humankind. We pray for our country, our state, our county. May we always turn to you and not away from you to guide us. Lead us daily. We pray for unity and grace, O Lord. These things we humbly pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll convene the Commissioners' meeting at this time. Ask for approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Marabito is not with us today. He's on vacation, so we hope that he's enjoying his vacation, and we'll see him next Tuesday. At this time, we ask for public comment on agenda items only. Hearing none, move on to bid openings.
Nikki, Krista Rogers is here today with bid openings for food products.
Morning, Krista.
Morning. We have 3 bidders. First, we have Feasers. And these are multiple item bids. There's really, they're as needed, so I don't really read all the items.
Okay.
But I'll pass them to the solicitor when I'm done to check the bid securities. The next bidder is Cisco. And the last bidder is Feasers. Kiko.
Kiko Distributors.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is it for the bids.
Okay, thank you.
And then you're gonna do the accounts payable cash requirements?
Yes.
Okay.
The check/voucher total for this week is $2,959,794.37. Largest payment being $127,039 for Trustmark Health Benefit. And the largest department with payments being made is RMS landfill with $939,794.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. A motion to accept
I'll
cash
move to
requirements?
approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Krista.
TBA actions with Roxanne Greco.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
We're asking for an update to the TDA in the Department of Public Safety, changing a full-time EMA Administrative Assistant position, pay grade 5-6, to a part-time clerk 3, pay grade 4.
Okay. Any discussion? Do a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. So carried.
Moving on to personnel actions. In domestic relations, Jennifer Blouch is a full-time replacement clerk 3, pay grade 4. $13.95 an hour effective September 8th, 2020. At the prison, Michael S. Blake is a full-time replacement correctional officer relief. Pay grade CO1, $17.23 an hour effective September 8th, 2020. In juvenile probation, Ty A. Knopf, full-time replacement juvenile probation officer, pay grade JPO, $21.95 hourly, effective September 8th, 2020. In maintenance, Patrick E. Wright is a full-time replacement custodial worker, pay grade 2, $11.79 an hour, effective September 8th, 2020.
Okay, any discussion on these positions? All being replacement positions. A motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So carried.
Commissioners, we're also asking you to approve the personnel actions for the month of August.
Hang on one second. Let me recess the Commissioners
No.
meeting.
No,
Oh,
She's
No,
doing
it's 5.5.
oh, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. Okay, go ahead.
it's a separate item.
Yep,
so,
I see it.
This is just the personnel actions for the month of August 2020.
Okay, have a motion to accept.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we'll recess the Commissioners' public meeting at this time. and go to the salary board actions.
Commissioners, we're asking you to approve a change to the salary schedule in the Department of Public Safety, changing that full-time EMA administrative assistant position, pay grade 5-6, to a part-time clerk 3, pay grade 4.
Okay, I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried.
Thank you.
Okay, adjourn the salary board actions and reconvene the commissioners meeting at this time.
And then we would recess for the Board of Assessments
Yes.
revisions. And I have Brooke Wright here.
Morning, Brooke.
Commissioners, I'm just here to ask you for your approval on the list of real estate exonerations that you have.
Any discussion on any of these?
No.
Hearing none, I have a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Information items 8.1 and 8.2 are my attune.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Hang on one second. Now we got to reconvene the commissioners meeting.
Oh, I thought you did.
Yeah, no, okay. All right, go ahead.
Great, good morning. The first item I have here is to vote to award RFP for the reentry program coordinator. As you recall, we had two bidders. One was Geo Reentry and the other one was STEP, and we want to discuss how to proceed with that.
Okay, we'll put that on the agenda for Tuesday.
Okay?
Okay?
The next item I have is to go out for proposals for engineering services as it relates to the levee rehabilitation project. As you know, this is for the rehabilitation, repair, and replacement of 60 cross pipes. The engineer would be required to do all the necessary design plans and drawings as it relates to the construction for the project.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Go to 9.1, Brooke Wright. We're voting on the resolution 2020-26.
Good morning again, Commissioners. This resolution came from Act 155 of 2018. It's a resolution establishing 4-year duration of terms for Board of Assessment Appeals that runs from January 1, 2020 to 12/31/2020. It will run concurrent with the Commissioners. So if they decide to come in and when they're newly elected, they could bring in new board members.
Okay, a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then Brooke Wright for 9.2, this is to appoint assessment board member Bridget Schultz.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm asking for your approval for Bridget Schultz to sit on the Assessment Board of Appeals. She's a realtor who's been working in Lycoming County for 20-plus years and everything.
We spoke to her and she's very excited.
Excuse-
We spoke with her and she's very excited to start.
That's good. I've spoken to her too to
Yep.
coordinate with her with
Yep.
the training and everything that she'll have to take online.
Yeah, appreciate her stepping forward and serving the community.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Okay, a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
9.3, Jason, are you on the line? Okay.
Morning, Jason.
Good morning, Commissioners. Commissioners, for your approval, seeking your approval would be the purchase of 4 spools for our tarping machines from Tarpomatic. These spools are the device we wrap our cover tarps with, and then every morning and every evening, the dozer operator has to either has to cover up the waste for the evening or uncover it the next morning. So the spools, every so often we have to replace the spools. These spools are $4,400 each plus shipping for a total of $19,647.50.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. So carried.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next item is 9.4 is amendment to the agreement that we have with Cummins Incorporated, Cummins Sales and Service. These are one of our vendors that we use on an as-needed basis for the work on our Cummins engines. Some of our trucks, most of our trucks have Cummins engines. The contract that we have with them and the service rates are from 2015, and there's been no amendments to it. So the 2020 amendment is why they've not increased the rates in 5 years, so that's why there's a little bit more of a change. So, like the engine department, the shop rate used to be 117, it's now 138 an hour. Where just as the field rate used to be 150, mountain power vehicles, it was $127 an hour, now it's 150. So I looked at the power generation is the same for any of our generators or engines we have stationary equipment. So, and also the mileage charge went up from $2.25 to $3. So, recommend your approval, Commissioner. This is only an as-needed basis. So, and I'm pretty proud of them that we were able to lock them in for 5 years. Now that I can understand they've had a rate increase.
Any questions?
It just seems, these are mechanics, correct?
Yes, sir.
At $100 and some an hour. It just seems high.
But
But-
it also brings in their truck and all their equipment, sir.
Okay.
Have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioners, thank you very much.
Nancy Ackley has
Or you see,
the next 9
Yeah.
items, so I'll just let you.
the next dozen.
do that.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'll hand you these fact sheets. You can follow along with me as
Thank
I
you.
go.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you.
Okay, the first one we have, Juvenile Probation is asking for your approval on is Mid-Atlantic. And Mid-Atlantic, it knows the MAZE programs provide high-quality health education and treatment services to our youth through supportive partnerships with those we serve, courts, families, youth, and the community. They have several different programs with varying rate increases. And as you can see at the bottom of the fact sheet, what they had originally asked for as rate increases, and then what we were able to negotiate with them.
Okay, Nancy, how often have we been using these facilities, and how are they adjusting to COVID?
Mid-Atlantic, pretty much since COVID, it's just been a detention center. And I think we've had like maybe 2 or 3 placements there. And they quarantine them for 2 weeks, separate from everybody else.
Okay.
That's what all the facilities are doing. Some
Yeah.
of them are just like Center County Youth Center. We'll quarantine them there for 2 weeks. Then we'll move them to their next placement. Or like Adelphi quarantines at Mon Run. And then they'll move them to Susan's house or Marker House.
Okay. Any questions? Any motion?
So moved.
Second? I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next on the list is Diversified Treatment Alternatives. They had no rate increase in 2019 and 2020, and this year they asked for a 3% increase in their programs. They operate 2 residential facilities emphasizing treatment for adolescent male sex offenders. They attempt to balance their treatment population by also admitting delinquent youth who are non-sex offenders. And we have 2 children in placement there right now.
Okay.
I guess the only, when you're doing all the reading on cost of living and whatnot, and we see that haven't changed that much. Okay, and a matter of fact, when you're talking about operating facilities, we're seeing enormous savings in utility cost, from electricity to gas to everything seems to have decreased in cost. And obviously the natural gas industry has a lot to do with that, and the fracking, being able to co-generate plants. Are we talking these kind of increases because of labor? Labor rates. Okay.
It's overall cost. It's their employees, it's their insurances, it's all of their overhead.
Other than health insurance, which
Other than health
blows
insurance.
everything else away, just,
Yeah.
okay.
Plus probably COVID with cleaning the facilities and things like that would, I'm
We
sure
didn't
factored
cut
into
them
it.
breaks for their COVID expenses because
Yeah.
everybody across the state is COVID expenses. As I explained to the one facility, you can't claim that as your cost because we, the county, have had the same costs.
And one thing I want to emphasize to the public, that Nancy negotiates the contracts, and she does an amazing job of going back to the providers and working out a price with them. And on behalf of the county, I want to thank you because you've saved us thousands and thousands of dollars.
Try to.
Yeah, through your negotiation skills and saying, can you do better?
And the facilities I worked with also I have very good contacts with them.
Okay. Motion.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next one on the list is Cove Prep. This one we just keep in the waiting. We haven't used it yet. We have it just in case we need it. They are a secure care facility that exists to treat adolescent males ages 12 to 20 who have committed sex offenses. Cove Prep's vision is to provide state-of-the-art research-based assessment and treatment for adolescent male sex offenders. And they had a 3.28% increase in the one program and no rate increase in their diagnostic evaluation.
And we don't have anybody there at this time?
No, I don't think we've used them. This is our second year with them, and if I remember correctly, I don't think we placed anybody there yet.
Okay, it's up in Torrance. Okay.
I move to approve.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next on the list is Adelphi. This is a renewal. We have 3 juveniles in placement there right now. They provide a wide range of services for the treatment of delinquent males and females. Services can be, but not limited to, secure treatment centers, intensive supervision group home, sex offender group home, community-based short-term group home, and specialized independent living. And again, if you flip the page over to the second page, you'll see what they originally wanted for their rate increases. And we were able to get them down by half.
That's awesome. Okay, make a motion.
I move to approve.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next on the list is Academy Schools, community specialists. We have one girl in placement there right now. They provide comprehensive, positive, rehabilitative treatment for female offenders. It's a private residential school for court-adjudicated females ages 14 to 19 in grades 7 through 12. The program is multifaceted, interweaving academics, trades training, counseling, and extracurricular activities, provides a transforming environment and unwavering support young juvenile offenders need to redirect their lives.
Okay, that's all the way out in Allegheny County.
Yep.
I move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next is Crossroads. Crossroads Counseling. We keep this contract in place in case we need it. We do use this program, but it is, we've never received a bill for it at all. It's paid through MA. And there's no rate increase from last year on the programs, just the one MAP group
I'll make a motion.
had an increase.
I'll move to approve.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
So carried.
Next is Justice Works. There is no rate increase for that. And they have many programs for community-based services for our juveniles.
Has anybody heard from Ian lately? How he's making out in his new career?
No, I have not heard from him, no. If we see Deanie, we can ask her next time we see her.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
I move to approve.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next is C. Townsend Velkoff. We're keeping a contract with him. We used him a lot for our evaluations, and he is no longer going to do evaluations, so I'm not really sure at this point how much we're going to use him, although he does still do counseling, so we may court order youth to counseling with him.
Yeah, the county has used Townsend over the years. Phenomenal.
Yeah,
counsel.
unfortunately, he's not going to do our evals
Yeah.
anymore,
Yeah.
so I don't know what we're going to do.
Huge loss.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
yes.
Very, very good. Okay. A motion? I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And last, we're back to Academy Schools, which is they have a summit program. Right now, we do not have anybody in that. This is for adolescent inpatient drug and alcohol and residential services. And they got a 6% increase. On the fourth page, you'll see what they originally wanted, or third page, what they wanted, and then what we got them down to.
I move to approve.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's everything.
Okay.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thanks for providing the sheets.
You're
Yep,
welcome.
very helpful.
Now we have Mark Egley. 9.14 to 9.21.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Mark.
Yeah, certainly the providers are have experienced a lot of increased costs. There's some, of course, when PREA was approved, they had to go through stuff to ensure extra security for some of those facilities, so there was costs associated with that. And then there's also, if providers are trying to become under the Family First Prevention Services Act, a qualified high residential facility, there's a bunch of requirements that are associated with that in terms of having nursing care available 24/7. There's staff need to be trained in trauma, those types of things. So there's a number of requirements that are impacting providers statewide. So yeah, unfortunately, it's driving the cost of care up. So, in any case, I have some contracts and stuff as well. The first is a Human Services Development Fund contract with Fire Tree Place. This is a $25,000 contract. It's a renewal from last year, and it's for them to utilize to provide life skills educational opportunities for the community that they serve.
Okay, I have a motion.
I move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
Next is the to approve the submission of our budget request for our annual juvenile justice and child welfare needs-based plan and budget. It's for the 2021-22 fiscal year. It's due today in Harrisburg, and we're asking your approval to submit that budget. The total amount is the total budget request is
Do we have that
I thought I brought the right sheet. Oh, I have it right here.
Because I was going to say we decided we can take it with them.
And this was what we reviewed last Thursday, Commissioners. The number did not change. It is, the total is $13,742,554. Obviously, a significant portion of that is federal and state dollars. The local match is less than, is around 18%, would be local dollars of that 13. Should we expend that entire amount, which I don't anticipate we will.
Okay. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
Along with submission of our request is we're also required to submit our data agreement. It's the shared, what is it called? It's the data sharing agreement with the Department of Human Services, and it's for this runs on a federal fiscal year. It runs from October 1st of 2020 to September 30th of 2021. This document we sign and approve each year. It reflects the information that's shared on child abuse and neglect referrals that we get from the state, and then the follow-up investigation results that get submitted back to the state, and it's maintained in their statewide system. And so it's just the agreement that covers how we treat that data back and forth between the state and the county.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. My next item is back to some more human services development contracts. The next is with Confer Home Health Services. They provide adult homemaker services for those adults who are between the ages of 18 and 60 who may need help with some of those chores around the home to remain self-sufficient in their own home. And that's for $20,000. The contract, it's the renewal, same as last year.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
Thank you. Next item is with the American Rescue Workers to support their emergency shelter services for homeless folks within the county. And that's the renewal of that agreement. That's for $12,500.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 And the same applies for the YWCA's Liberty House. It's another $12,500 allocation for emergency shelter for the families that they would serve.
I'll make a motion.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
Next, I have the Jersey Shore Summer Rec Program. We make a small allocation to them to run their summer program. And I would ask that you would approve that. It's the same as in prior years at $4,000.
Move.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
And Project Coffee House provides the same type of a summer programming in the Montgomery area for Montgomery Summers Alive, and we would ask that you'd approve an allocation for their programming as well, at $4,000 as well.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
And that's all I have for you
Okay.
today.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep. Appreciate you, all your efforts.
9.22 is Director McDermott regarding the commissioners to announce new members of the Lycoming County Recreational Authority.
Commissioners, actually, we're just announcing the new members of the Rec Authority that you all have appointed, and they are David Abernathy, Victoria Killeran Goodspeed, Timothy Bauer, and Michael Philbin.
Okay. And again, we want to thank these individuals for stepping forward and volunteering their time to serve the community.
We had other applicants as well. We want to thank them for applying. And as we move forward, we'll see if we can utilize those people in either that capacity or some other capacity in the county.
Okay. I have a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried. Thank you.
9.23, Director McDermott, vote on memorandum of agreement with the City of Williamsport.
Commissioners, seeking your approval on this MOA with the City of Williamsport. This MOA is city for their processing center, or I should say, sub-processing center. It's a small annex, fingerprinting and processing. It's been reviewed by the solicitor, and just asking for your approval.
If I might, information from the chief of police. I assume it's been reviewed by Mr. Weber, who I think was the county representative. It reflects everything that I understood the county through Weber and the chief had outlined. I do note it has a number of typos in it, so before you sign it, please let me clean those up. But otherwise, I think it reflects what the parties want.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, motion?
I move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Aye, so carried. Thank you, Director.
Commissioners' comment.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. First, I'm going to ask business owners and all the citizens, residents of Lycoming County, to please, you need to provide the information to the census. It is critical for funding. We sent out an email to the colleges to see if there's a way that they can get that information out to the students as soon as possible. I believe the deadline is September 30th. And we are at just below 70%. So this is not a good thing for Lycoming County. It's not a good thing for the state of Pennsylvania, because as we fail to fill out the census, we will lose representation not only in our state government but in our federal government. So I can't emphasize enough to the business owners out there to please, in your morning talks with your employees, please have them fill out the census.
Plus, we'll lose funding. I mean, the funding, it's $2,000 average per person. So you think 10 years, that's $20,000 per resident, and funding that could come to our area, that wouldn't be local and state tax dollars. It'd be federal monies coming to us to help us. So it's vital from the representative side and from the financial side. Can you wait for public comment?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the county is putting out a couple meetings tomorrow, Zoom meetings for the COVID relief funds that we received from the state of the $10.2 million. This is for profit small businesses. All the information for all businesses of profit for small businesses should get on these meetings tomorrow. There are 3 of them from, one is at 8 a.m., the other is at 1 p.m., and the other one is at 6 p.m. This will give you all the information that you need to be able to fill out these applications or not, if you don't qualify, but it will go through everything for you. Tremendous opportunity to help you recover something, so please don't hesitate to get on tomorrow at those time slots. If you need further information, please don't hesitate to call us if you miss those sessions. Over the past week, we have been we gave the approval for a part-time person to help in the voter services department, of which we did not have any applicants as I was aware of so far. In the primary election, we were under the state of COVID. We had plenty of people to help us with the election process. And it was a hectic schedule. But the primary, the general election is going to be a different scenario. And we need to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Forrest doesn't believe he got the people calling in because it was a part-time position. I don't know how we're going to deal with this, but we must deal with this and deal with it soon. So we have to be creative or come up with an idea. If we do not have all the county employees that can help, then we're going to need help. I'm just letting the public be aware of this, so that if we add on some temporary help, that's the reason.
And this isn't just about whether you vote in person or whether you mail it in. This is about our election is going to be fourfold what we received in the primary, because the presidential primaries were already decided. Now we're voting for a president, and most everybody's going to be coming out. They say it's the biggest election of our lifetimes, maybe ever. So all across the nation, we're going to have record turnouts. And so we're looking at fourfold. And just for instance, this past weekend, he received 800 pieces of mail. So just his office alone. So it's important that there's people in that office to help out. And so we're looking to fill this position and exploring other ideas to try to help the voter registration. They did do a phenomenal job in May. They were one of the first counties that had everything completed in time. There was a lot of counties that didn't have things done for a couple weeks. And Forrest and his staff, they killed it that night. They did an awesome job.
And I believe I read something in an email about one of the House bills presented to, I don't want to say repeal, but to improve Act 77. That's coming out, and if you got on the CCAP's website, it gives you the information on what we need to do to improve the mail-in ballots and everything else. Call your legislators and ask them to vote positively for these changes.
And it's a team effort. It starts with the poll workers, it goes down to our IT department, the sheriff's help that evening. Everybody plays an important role that evening to help Forrest in the mission of the county to do a successful vote. So thank you to all the individuals that participate. And
Commissioners, I've asked the departments last week to provide any assistance that they can, even now, up to the election. If they have any employees that can just swing over for an hour or two a day just to help on just normal clerical kind of things, to fill that void until we get somebody in.
okay, thank you.
That's all I had, Chairman.
Public comment this time. We ask if you speak that you step up to the podium, announce your name, and ask you to limit your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good morning, John Sharman,
Morning.
Jersey Shore. At the July 28th meeting, it was stated at the 25-minute mark that the United States led the world in testing for COVID, and that India was second. As of that time, China was number one at 90.4 million, the U.S. at 53 million, Russia at 28.5 million, and India at 18.5 million. Since the county gave the Chamber of Commerce $150,000 to help with small businesses, how I think it would be only fair that maybe the county be willing to give the 9 school districts some financial aid in the process because of what they are going to be going through with protective equipment and all of this. I think it would only be fair that it's direct financial aid. I know that you people had a meeting with them before about what the other grants to apply for. If you're helping small businesses, certainly the school districts, I'm sure, would take any kind of help, direct financial help. Now, the other article, the other thing I want to comment on is the withdrawal of service from the airport by American Airlines. It was stated in the paper on August the 21st that they were stressing it was only going to be temporary from from October to the 3rd to around November the 3rd or something like that. I read an article yesterday in marketwatch.com. It was put out, published by the AP. At the beginning of the year, American Airlines had 140,000 employees. During the COVID situation, when they received $5.8 billion of the $25 billion given to the airlines, they still dropped 23,500 employees, roughly. And in the release that was put out by American CEO Doug Parker and President Robert Isom, stated that the fourth quarter of 2020, American Airlines plans to fly less than half of its usual routes in the United States and schedule only about 1/4 of flights for its lucrative international flights. And during that time, they want to lay off, do away with another reduction of about 19,000, which would take their workforce roughly down to 100,000 people. And in that article, it stated that American was withdrawing from 15 facilities in the United States, which is Williamsport is one of them, which kind of contradicts what was said on the 21st in the paper by the director of the airport with it. Is there any guarantee that American will come back at all? Because it doesn't sound like it at this point. And if American doesn't come back, this is going to be another big financial blow to this area. So is there any guarantees that American's coming back at all?
To my knowledge, there are no guarantees.
Okay.
But there was a time frame in which they were not going to run the services.
Yeah, but now on the 25th, as I said, in Market Watch, a story by the AP, and it's stated in there that American was withdrawing from 15 markets. Now that's different. Withdrawing means, to me, they're out of here, they're taking their equipment, they're gone.
Yeah, and we looked at all the information that you have, and you know, when we see that Congress wasn't acting on funding some of the airlines, this could be a ploy to get pressure on Congress to pass it so that they open up. But my personal feeling is that I don't believe American Airlines have treated Lycoming County Airport very well in the past. And I look at this as an opportunity to hopefully bring in some other airlines to service our community much better than American Airlines treated.
Well, it is also stated in the article that air flights in the United States are down by 70% or better at this time. So to me, it doesn't look like that America's going to come back. Now, to my other point, and I will sit down, is about direct financial aid to the school districts, because I'm sure that they can use it the same as the businesses.
Scott, can you say that?
Well, first of all, back to the airport, John. The commissioners do not control the airport. They're an authority. We appoint authority board members down there. Sure, they've asked us for funding. Funding's been provided. But I agree with Commissioner Massar's statements. Regarding American Airlines, I don't think they have treated Lycoming County fairly. I would hope that this is a temporary shutdown. There is no guarantees. There's no guarantees on life. And we want a good relationship with them. Hopefully they will return. The Charlotte hub was a fantastic change from Philadelphia. I don't think they would be building new airplanes, I should say, and set this up just to shut down immediately within 2 days. So I think it might have been an idea maybe to alleviate some pressure. To impose some pressure, I should say, on Congress to make a decision. So hopefully they will be back. You know, Commissioner Massar was on the first flight. It was a smooth flight. It's a great hub. Charlotte, I've flown into Charlotte. It's phenomenal down there.
So have I.
And so it's a great solution. So hopefully it will continue. Regarding the school districts, we have met with the school districts. We talked last week about a plan we're putting in place, and we want to do that countywide. So you can't just do it overnight. It takes time, and the measures are there, and the people are stepping up. The Camp Sesqua, Fire Tree. Hopefully there'll be churches throughout the county that will utilize their buildings so that we can do this and implement this plan. So we're looking forward to that and trying to assist the school districts in that way, because most of them are going to school 2 days a week. They're home 3 days a week. They need care. It's the, you know, a good employee has to be rest assured that their kids are being cared for and safe when they're at work. And if they're worrying about their kids, they can't be a good employee. And nothing's more important to a person than their kids. So we want to make sure those anxieties and fears, not only with our employees but countywide, are eliminated to the best of our ability. So we're trying to help in those ways.
Scott, I'm going to add this, that we plan on helping them to a certain extent, but we could exhaust all of our Act 13 funds and COVID relief funds within a year, okay? What's critical to understand is that what we did as a government to shut down the economy of the United States, no, global economies, not just the United States, is now being second guessed, okay, by the medical professions. There are so many different opinions on how we have to move forward right now. But one of the most important ones are, what are the hospitalization rates? And I see that we're doing that right now. We cannot sustain, nor can the parents, nor can the businesses, the models in which we're implementing. It's impossible. It is absolutely impossible. And whether we like it or not, when you see the increases in the cases, positive cases in college, now they're saying, don't send them home, don't close them up, keep them there, keep them confined, okay? That makes some logical sense. But if you think that government can pull us out of the decisions that our federal government or state leaders have made, impossible. Impossible. We will deplete our reserves within a year, and that can't happen. Policy changes are going to be needed. Rethinking of how we're dealing with this COVID is going to have to be done, because it's not going to work financially for anybody.
Well said. Government isn't set up to sustain an economy. Businesses sustain an economy. We can temporarily help, but we can't do it. There's an old expression, you tell your kids money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah, what did you say about the mayor of Philadelphia?
Yeah.
What a
the thing is, government doesn't grow money on trees. And you can only give out so much and help so much. At some point, the economy has to sustain itself. And that's what business owners want to do. They want to do so safely. And they can do so safely.
As safe as possible.
Absolutely. And people have to stop talking out both sides of their mouth. You can't be the mayor of Philadelphia and tell the Philadelphia restaurants, you're closed. You can't open, and sneak off to Maryland to a friend's restaurant and eat inside. And then come back to your community and say, you know, it's not do as they say, not as they do. You have to lead by example, and everybody has to do that. So it's important that we open up safely, and we can do so. You know, I've been to so many different restaurants, and they're being so responsible in their actions. And all the businesses I walk into, the safety measures are in place. They're doing what they have to do, but they can't do it at 25%.
This is one far afield of what I asked.
It's hard enough at 50%. So, any other public comment this time? Yes, sir.
I'm going to try and keep this short and pleasant here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning. You state your
Good morning
name.
to the public. My name is Bill Fenderson from Linden. And when you touched on a very critical part right here, when you talked about the census. Now, we talked about that last Tuesday. God forbid, there's nothing in the paper about nothing. Even though you have different categorizations of being able to get on the internet, I would have to say 60% of the people in the elderly community do not have internet. So how can they register for something? Half the stuff you get in the mail is a bunch of bullshit, if I must say so personally. We've also got already being able to register to vote when I know they haven't come out of the county yet. So we've got a lot of false information floating around in the mail. Still nothing in the paper about certain things. We don't discuss anything that makes any common sense. As you sit, and you said, just to quote, we always prepare for the worst and hope for the best. We still at this time, in this county, and you're right, Tony, the numbers are going up. We've had a tremendous week last week. It was terrible. We had a lot of new COVID infections. With school starting over again, are we prepared for a major outbreak in this county? What would happen if we have a major outbreak in this county? Are we prepared? Is there a process in place the county has position on to withstand a major problem? Do we have an answer on that?
Well,
Go ahead.
when you say prepared, what we need to be prepared for is medical attention. And is our hospital overwhelmed with patients? No. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to stay the same, but that's probably the barometer in which we want to gauge. And at least it should be. It shouldn't be by how many positive cases, okay? It should be how many are affected so badly that they need hospitalization. Then, as leaders of the community or the state government that makes those decisions, they have to look at that.
Well, that's correct. Tony, you're very correct what you're saying right there. But over the weekend, with a lot of due pressure on the CDC and some other medical experts, they're floating the buck again. Everything's changing. This game plan is ridiculous. It's making it harder for senior citizens. And we talk about the census, prime example. Everyone should understand the census has a lot to do with funding for the people who go with STEP for funding. They get assistance. I have yet to see anything in the paper broke down how much money is available and how much they expect to lose if we don't have the census being done right. And believe you me, this census, from what I've gathered, is not going well. And what you said is correct. We stand to lose a hell of a lot of funding. And it's going to directly affect the senior citizens, which make up about 70% of this county. And I'm not bashful about them numbers. And I'm one of them. So with that being said, do we have anything to put back on that? What can we do to get the census done that makes common sense? We put people knocking on doors, what do we do?
You know, I don't have the answer to that, but when you look at the birth rates and whatnot, and you go up to a house and nobody answers, right? Do you not count in that house that is occupied? I mean, you have to count something, some type of person living there.
You're right.
And if they don't, then we need to correct that.
That's right. And take it from its prospect, one quick thing here. if we don't get the proper numbers from census, our county taxes are gonna go through the roof. And I don't think that people understand that. We have to have some sort of thing going on. They have to get stuff administrated properly. With that, I close.
I agree.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment this time? Okay, hearing none, the meeting is adjourned, and we will meet again next Tuesday, September the 8th, at 10 a.m.